make that next step and get to that next step, top 50, top 30.
Agassi, as I mentioned, played once.
Just once last year in Washington, D.C. Actually took him down pretty handedly, 3-2.
2 years ago here, Mel, he beat Greg Ruzetsky, and he said that was a major step in feeling like he could be comfortable winning matches at the professional level. Goldstein, I'm talking about.
Well, I think every player, when you're ranked around 75 or 100, when you make that move, you can probably point to one or two matches that made you feel like you belong up there in that upper echelon.
Oh, that is called long, and he is going to do a lot of running tonight.
He will be doing a lot of running, and he said Greg Ruzetsky kind of made him feel like he belonged. If he can win this match tonight, manage to try to eke out a win, because it's going to be a struggle. That may spur him on to that next level here on the tour. But there's only one problem that he has. His game is very similar to Andre Agassi's. They're going to be playing
only not as good.
Only not as good. Andre plays from the baseline better than anyone.
Oh, Agassi, 3 straight outstanding points. He starts quickly, Agassi. I mean, he gets out there, he's fired up. Look at this. Steers that one down the line. Clean winner, break points. Agassi, first game of the match, best of 5.
$15, 14. $13, 14.
A couple of missed returns from Agassi. Saves a couple of break points. Goldstein does.
Goldstein is going to do a lot of running. Andre Agassi has got him on the string so far. 1 game to love with a break in the first set. That's the section of the draw that you are watching. Prinisil, the German, waiting for the winner of this match, Mal.
Prinisil taking out Cecil Mamet, another American, in 5 sets today. Waiting for the winner of this match. And Andrew Ely, a local favorite, ripped off his shirt after he beat 9th seed Juan Carlos Ferrero today.
Mamet won the first 2 sets against Prinisil, by the way. So a disappointing day all round for Cecil Mamet of the USA. Goldstein accepted John McEnroe's offer to join the Zimbabwe USA Davis Cup team and played with Andre Agassi quite a bit that weekend.
Andre Agassi
learned a lot from him, he said. What is that, a bird?
Looks like there's some birds flying around.
Now, in Australia, a bird means a girl. But we're talking about the flying kind.
I'm not quite sure what it dropped.
I tell you, he's a consummate showman, you know. He'll make something out of anything. Goldstein says about Agassi, the second Andre steps on the court, he's ready to go. He gets the most out of every shot in practice. He's still
The ball person having to do a little cleanup job over there.
Picking up the droppings.
Fault.
Oh.
15 on.
It's a punishing backhand down the line. Ended the last game with the backhand winner. Starts off this game with the same.
As fierce as Agassi is in practice, according to Goldstein, Jimmy Connors was the same way.
Got you on.
30 love. Actually, there's a tremendous lesson to be learned from that. If you're going to spend time on the practice court, you might as well give it everything you got. You get the best out of it. Some guys go out there, they're at the tennis courts for 8 hours a day. They come back, I was there for 8 hours a day, but standing around and loping around.
Well, you mentioned Jimmy Connors. He was a guy that didn't like to practice a ton, but the intensity level was so high.
Exactly. 40 love.
Another backhand winner for Agassi.
Agassi leads 2 games to love.
2 games to love. Andre Agassi, so solid on the backhand side. Just take a look at this. He's got such a compact, very compact swing in the backhand. Look, takes it back very close to the body as well. Elbow slightly bent and through it. Beautiful full follow through. Not a lot of topspin on the backhand side. I mean, he can hit it, but for the most part, it's a pretty flat shot, and the forehand pretty much in the same vein.
I think what I like about his backhand, and you'll notice it point after point here, is that he steps into the ball, and so many times he's stepping into the court when he hits that.
Like that. It's a clinic so far.
And right now, Andre Agassi is playing the kind of tennis that he wants to play. Every point is really being contested from the baseline, and Paul Goldstein has not been able to make a dent from the baseline yet.
Not happy with the call from Agassi. Goes to Goldstein. And he walks. 15-30. He's down a break already, Goldstein.
And there's the backhand up the line again. 4 backhand winners already
14
for Agassi. Getting up to that ball quickly. 2 more break opportunities for Agassi.
Game Agassi.
One's all he needed. Agassi has broken twice, 3 games to love. This is for a place in the last 32 here at the Australian Open, first slam of the year.
And on that first point, Andre Agassi, another forehand winner. And I tell you, Cliff, what Paul Goldstein is suffering from right now, he is completely intimidated out there on the court.
You're right. He's shell-shocked.
And I've seen it so many times with Andre Agassi. When he goes out on the court against a player, especially with a similar game as his, and he knows that he should beat that player, he comes out with just almost like a mad dog attitude, and he almost wants to destroy his opponents.
Game Agassi. He leads 4 games to love.
4 games to love. Agassi on a roll.
And look at this All-American matchup. Andre Agassi with 45 titles compared to Goldstein's none. And look at this Australian Open record: 26-3 for Agassi, 3-2 for Goldstein. Completely different paths these two careers have taken.
15 long.
Goldstein says that evening matches are tougher for him because he generally gets so excited before he plays a match. He ends up waking up relatively early, and then he's got to stay awake all day.
And I'm sure that was the case with this match, when he's playing Agassi on Rod Laver Arena. Goldstein giving this call a second look, letting the ball go, definitely inside the line. Bad mental error from Goldstein.
30 all.
Goldstein's task right now is just to get on the board.
30 all. Break point for Agassi. For Goldstein, most inspirational player, he says, in his life was Yannick Noah. Muhammad Ali also. The charisma and, more importantly, he said the social impact that he had.
Ace number 2 for Goldstein, saves a break point. Right up the tee.
Correction. Play left, please.
That's some bad fortune for Paul Goldstein. Wayne McEwen making that overrule. Andre Agassi was walking to the ad side of the court, thinking his ball was out.
Advantage, Goldstein.
Point to get on the board for Goldstein.
Might be a small eruption with the crowd if he can get this point and get his first game.
Juice.
Goldstein played all sports as a kid. He's got 2 older brothers: soccer, baseball, basketball.
Advantage, Agassi.
Second break point of this game for Agassi. About to go up a third break of serve.
There's another break for Agassi. 5 games to love. Goldstein trying desperately to get on the board, but hasn't been able to do it yet. We're in Melbourne, Australia, and if you want to go to one of the trendy spots, Chapel Street would be the place to go. It's a trendy entertainment area. Good eating there, too. Back in a minute. Agassi is the one who got out to a quick start here. Paul Goldstein was in fear of that. He knows how difficult it is to play against Agassi, and especially how important it is to get a quick start against him.
Andre is the best front runner in the game, so if you let him get ahead too quickly and he gets a little bit of confidence, you're not going to have much of a shot. So if I get out there and get off to a good start and get myself into the match, I feel much better. I mean, Andre's human, and if it's a tight match, he's going to be a little more conservative than if he's up 3-0 or 4-0 and just blasting winners.
Paul Goldstein is a smart guy. He's a very nice fellow too, and unfortunately, he has not got off to the start that he wanted.
No, this isn't. This is probably the worst start he could possibly want. Right now, he just needs to forget this set and realize it's probably going to be 6-love and start thinking about the second set. Unfortunately for him, all he's probably concerned about is getting on the board. And when your frame of mind is one of, I just need to get on the board, your game plan goes out the window, and all you're trying to do is put a respectable performance on the court. But I feel for him right now, because everyone who's played Andre Agassi has probably been in a similar position to this at one point. I know I have.
Yeah, oh yes. I guess we all have. It's difficult to imagine Agassi being in that position, though, as successful as he's been for so long. Porsche gun speed, there it is, 116. Mel, what I found interesting about today is you watch a guy like the Russian Safin, who played, really a couple of very, very good sets today in his win over Andrei Pavel. It was a great match. Patrick Rafter played a good match as well, and as you watch them play, you're thinking to yourself, if they play like this, there's nobody that really can beat them. Then you watch Agassi playing like this, and you say, whoa, wait a second, that's not true anymore, because Agassi could beat anybody playing like this.
When Andre is on, he can beat anyone in the world, maybe with the exception of Pete when Pete is on. But right now, he's not getting any resistance from Paul Goldstein.
Goldstein breaks 5 games to 1.
Agassi putting that serve back on Goldstein faster than it came over at him.
Hey! 30-15.
Yeah, that's a great return. 30-all. Mal, I think we've got to be fair to Agassi. We tend to say, well, he wins the Australian, doesn't win another tournament like he had just a terrible year. And it was not a good year. But remember, he got to the semi-finals at Wimbledon. Played a great match with Patrick Rafter. One of the best of the year, really.
Well, there are 1,000 players on the tour right now who would love to have the kind of year Agassi had last year. But when you look at what he did in 1999 with 2 majors and another final, well, you say, well, last year he only won 1 tournament. Yeah. What happened?
Set point.
Juice.
Game point, Goldstein.
Advantage Goldstein. Black Passer. Juice.
Goldstein taking a long look at that baseline call. No overrule from Wayne McEwen. Right now he needs every call he can get. Andre Agassi just having him on a string on that point.
Advantage Agassi.
Short little forehand angle, setting up that forehand right there. Easy. Another set point.
Game.
Double fault gives Agassi the first set 6-1. Agassi and Goldstein of the USA. Third round, men's singles. Early today, second round action. Patrick Rafter of Australia taking on the Russian qualifier Davydenko, and Rafter started out just fine, Mal.
Well, he started out really well, and this man right here, I have not seen a lot of. But this guy played some outstanding tennis throughout today. A great backhand from Rafter. His colorful shirt out there, and in typical fashion, Rafter doing everything he can to get into the net. Showing his great hands, probably the best volley on the tour right now. And in 4 sets, he actually served for this match at 5-4 in the 4th, but had to do it in a tiebreak. 7-6 in the 3rd.
Playing for a place in the 3rd round. This is a second round men's singles match. Agassi, the number 6 seed, easily in the first set over Paul Goldstein of Rockville, Maryland.
Shot of Brad Gilbert, never lacking words.
Andre Agassi's coach. No, he's Motormouth, okay, and he loves all sport. Talk about all sports. He'll talk about any sport.
And immediately you see a different play from Paul Goldstein, taking a second serve and coming in. We did not see him come in a single time in the first set, and he does it here on the first point.
Is that the kind of thing, Mel, that he going to have to do to turn it around here against Agassi? Mix it up a bit, try to get in?
Well, unfortunately for him, that's really not his game. Serving, volleying, hitting and attacking, chipping and coming in.
Missed it.
But I actually like it when players, even though it may be out of the realm of what their game does, I like it when a player can mix things up. Throw a different strategy at Agassi. Staying at the baseline in the first set did not work.
Break points for Goldstein. He's covering a lot of territory back there again, with Agassi stalking the baseline and Goldstein, what, 20 feet behind the baseline.
Now here at 1540, I'd kind of like to see him gamble, whether it's teeing off on a second serve or trying to come in, because he has 2 break points here. I think he can make a big gamble on one of these.
That's a gamble, and it paid off. Goldstein wins the first game on a breaker serve. Second set, he lost the first, winning only one game in the set. Tim Henman, the number 8 seed over Lepenti. Henman is playing some very good tennis. Lepenti has been successful here in the past. Safin, a winner in 4 sets. Gee, that was a nice match to watch.
Henman hasn't lost a set in this championship, and Pete Sampras served for this match at 5-4 in the fourth also, having to win at 7-6 in the third.
You like her, buddy?
Her body, playing good ball.
Straight setter.
Wayne Arthurs,
Australian.
Aussies, 6-1 in the fifth. Her body's one of those guys, sometimes you don't hear from him for a while, and then he just shows up and starts whipping up on people. Agassi stepping up on the backhand again. Prinosil, the German, taking down Cecil Mamet, the American, in 5.
The winner of this match plays Prinosil, the German.
And Zabaleta, the Argentinian, going down. Christoph Rokas, straight sets.
That's long.
15-all. Thank you. Can I please ask that you
Tabara,
check your mobile phone?
straight
Ensure they're
sets.
turned off now, please.
Moves on to the third round. Max Mirny, bit of a surprise loss, I think, right there.
Yeah, it is.
6-3 in the fourth.
all. Maybe it was too easy for Agassi in the start of this match.
Well, sometimes when things are going so easy, you get a little overconfident, maybe start trying to hit the ball a little too big. But at some point, usually throughout the course of a tennis match, each player goes through a bit of a lull, even if it's just for a couple of games. If Agassi is in that right now and Goldstein can hold on, go up 2-0, we can see what he can do.
Game point, Goldstein. Goldstein says that people have always said that I was a little too small to ever really make it. Too short, not enough big shots, not enough this or that. Certainly valid points, he says, but I figured out a way to win points at a high level.
Well, he's really been actually a great player at every level. In the juniors, in college, hasn't reached greatness yet on the Pro Tour.
Goldstein, he leads 2 games to love.
You're watching the Australian Open from Melbourne Park, everyone. Welcome. Cliff Drysdale here alongside Malavia Washington. This is the second round of the men's singles. Andre Agassi and Paul Goldstein. First set to Agassi. This is the second set that you're watching. Goldstein with a break, leading 2 games to love. Agassi set.
Love 15.
Piolina winner today, Prinosil earlier, Sampras a winner, Rafter a winner, Safin, all winners, all in the third round.
This is the game where Paul Goldstein really needs to work hard. Andre Agassi stepping into that backhand once again. He needs to work hard this game, see if he can get another break.
Oh, he paid the price. That was a good move, I thought, from him, too, because the approach was right down the middle, not much angle. Agassi not only found the angle, but used the tape. Look.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. That was a gamble. Perfect. It was. He lost the point, but I think it was a very good play. Taking a first serve and getting in.
30-all.
And once again, he can afford to gamble here. 30-all. He has the break in hand already. See if he can get 2 breaks.
$14.30. Game Agassi.
Agassi holds on. He's still down a break. 2-1 in the second set. Agassi won the first easily 6-1. Second round, the Australian Open. Back to Melbourne in a minute. In the second round, Pete Sampras again struggling a little bit. He struggled in his first round against Kuchera and today against Ulirak. Mel?
Bodan Ulirak from the Czech Republic, and here on match point, Sampras didn't put that forehand volley away. Eventually loses that point, loses that game while he's serving for the match. But he eventually, on another match point. That right there is the match for Sampras.
Long match though, 7-6, 7-6, 4-6, 7-5. And my own feeling is that Sampras doesn't need to get into too many long matches. Agassi and Goldstein 2-1. Goldstein leads with a break in the second. And that's the first point of this game. Love 15 at Goldstein serving. Pressure is on every serve game of Goldstein's.
Carl Kuchera in the first round taking Sampras to a tough 4-set match. Then Ulirak. I do agree Sampras doesn't want to get into this thing where he's playing a lot of long matches because he suffers in the heat sometimes down here. But you have a couple of tough matches like that early on. I think that bodes well for his success later because it kind of scares you a little bit, wakes you up early in the tournament.
Love 14.
Doesn't have a bad draw, does he? O'Malley's got Juan Ignacio Chela next. Unseeded player, obviously. Cedric Pioline, the number 13 seed, if he gets by Todd Martin of the USA. That's the good news for Sampras. The bad news is that he and Agassi are on a collision course here from the quarterfinals.
And rarely do you ever see that. Paul Goldstein making his way in. Actually, not a very solid volley. Didn't hit in the middle of the strings, but it got the job done, saving 1 break point.
Still break point, 15-40. Agassi breaks back even in the second set to a piece.
On the women's side, Monica Seles through in straight sets. The number 4 seed in Kornikova. Also earlier today, always a favorite down under. Straight sets. Testude, the 14th seed through. Due to retirement at 6'4", 5'2".
Testude's got a tough one in the next round, though. She plays Justine Henin of Belgium, and I like Henin. I think she can go a long way. I like the other Belgian Kleisters as well.
Capriati had a battle on Monday and today, easily 6'11", 6'2", and there's your player right there, Kleisters. Yeah, that's who you like.
She's heading toward Davenport Kleisters, and I think she'll give her a hard time. Oh, yeah, that's boy, there's a lot of game there with Agassi. 40 love, 3 game points, 2 games all, second set. Cleister, just by the way, Leighton Hewitt's girlfriend.
Rittner, a straight sets winner. 6-3 and 7-6.
Game Agassi.
Rittner will play Dragomir now. Agassi holds on easily. It is 3-2 now in the second set. Agassi in front. He was a break down in the second, but he's got it back. Paul Goldstein will serve, and we come back to the Australian Open. Goldstein to Agassi. I cannot think of anybody, including Jimmy Connors, that ever hit the ball as early as Andre Agassi, Mal.
No. Off the top of my head, he probably takes the ball earlier than anyone. And can take the ball on the rise and just pick up a ball off the baseline as well as anyone I've ever seen Agassi.
I remember talking to his dad, Mike, who taught him he was a tennis coach in Las Vegas in those early days. In fact, Mike represented his native Iran as a boxer in the Olympics at 17. And he was a Golden Gloves champion of Chicago when he immigrated. But Mike just had him stalk the baseline, and if the ball bounced on the baseline, he wanted him to half volley the ball. And he did.
30-15.
Goldstein making his way in. Agassi not being able to get this lob up high enough. Easy put away. Well, see, I was taught just the opposite. I stood 4 or 5 feet behind the baseline.
Me too, baby.
14-15.
But Mike Agassi wasn't my coach. Game point, Goldstein.
Third ace for Goldstein. Porsche radar gun, 100 miles an hour. Not a big serve in men's tennis standards. Well done on Goldstein's part. Another overhead.
3 games all.
3 games all. Second set, first set to Agassi. Let's take a look at Goldstein's forehand here. A little bit Lendl-like in a way. Look at the bent elbow. Look how much bent it is. And you see how the racket face is closed as he turned eye on the ball, turning his shoulders like that. Nice thing. And then he comes from high to low, hitting that ball from a pretty high spot, actually.
Completely off the ground many times when he hits that forehand, as are many players.
Love Agassi, 3 all. Oh, good effort to get to it, but not in enough time. When Agassi was 13, his dad, who had taught him up to that point, couldn't teach him anymore, packed him off to Nick Bollettieri's in Florida. He doesn't have happy memories, though, of that time, Agassi. That is a solid, very solid volley from Goldstein.
One of the few winners off the racket of Goldstein. He's 7 so far in the match, compared to Agassi's 17. Nice form. Keeping that racket head up. And actually dropped a little bit.
T15.
Agassi making his way in. Could have put that volley away. Actually should have.
Please. Agassi.
Agassi holds on. He is ahead 4 games to 3. 6-1 first set to Agassi. Andre Agassi leads 4-3 in the second. He won the first set 6-1 easily against Paul Goldstein, both of the USA, both looking for a place in the third round in the last 32 at the Australian this year. Agassi made his first major move in Grand Slam tennis at the French Championships. He gets all the way to the final and then doesn't go to Wimbledon. You're probably too young to remember this, Mel, but they used to complain a lot about, what does this kid, I mean, he won't play at Wimbledon. He did for about 3 years. He didn't play at Wimbledon. Lo and behold, the first Grand Slam he wins is Wimbledon in '92. And he has now won all 4 Grand Slam titles,
including the Aussie Open twice and the U.S. Open twice. Another look at that great Agassi backhand. And tell me if you knew this. The first time he ever played the Aussie Open, he won it. He never played the Aussie Open before 1995, which is very surprising considering the status he has been at in his career.
Struggling on serve again, 15-30 Goldstein.
Goldstein, though, a good serve up the tee, getting out a little aggression on this overhead.
Break points for Agassi. I was kidding about you being too young to remember.
Oh, I remember that well.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time I saw him play at Wimbledon, he actually lost to Henri Leconte.
Game, Agassi.
Agassi gets the break, a second break. He's been broken once. He leads 4-3, and he will serve in the second. He won the first set 6-1. Agassi in this tournament would take on Pete Sampras in the quarterfinals if they get there. There they are, Agassi and Sampras. And then Henman would take on Safin, Norman, and Hewitt.
And that is if all of these seeds continue to advance. But rare is it that you actually see Agassi potentially playing Sampras in a quarterfinal, because usually there are so many times over the years, 1 and 2 seeds. Last year here they met in the semifinals.
15-all.
And we were talking about Agassi in Wimbledon, and I said I saw him play Henri Leconte. I saw him play Leconte the year I played junior Wimbledon. Back in 1987, he lost first round to Leconte, and then he didn't play it for 3 consecutive years, Agassi.
Yeah, it's sort of ironic that that's the first slam that he won when he really didn't think he could win it.
15-30.
This is a great shot from Goldstein. Look at it.
Well, looking at Agassi's game, you would have thought maybe the French Open or U.S. Open was going to be the slam he would win first.
The Punisher.
That's just too good.
30-all.
Serving for the set, 30-all.
In the U.S. Open in 1990, a lot of people thought he was the favorite going into that final, losing straight sets to Sampras.
Yeah, that set him back too. Remember that year he'd won about everything on the summer circuit, literally everything.
And then what happened the following year in the finals of the French Open, losing to Courier. And so here Agassi was, the next great American who was doing so well and getting so much hype, and it was Sampras and Courier.
Set point.
Who came out with those first majors.
Game, second set.
Agassi wins the second set. 6-1, 6-3 for a place in the third round. Beautiful, but believe me, the weather is perfect for now. Let's hope it stays that way. They're talking about getting much hotter this weekend again, which is not good news for some of these players because it can get steamy.
It has been a treat, the weather so far.
First game, third set. Goldstein to Agassi.
Agassi picking that ball up, getting some good topspin on that ball. Watch this right here. Great return. Getting under that ball, just flicking his wrist over right on the baseline. Oh, you had to know that was coming. As soon as Agassi got back on his back foot. Not a bad volley from Goldstein either.
15-13.
This volley right here, he's able to push it deep. Not able to get a lot of pace on it. Agassi, one of the best lobbers in the game. There he is on his back foot. Coming under that ball. Perfect execution.
15-14.
Break point, Agassi, first game, third set. He's up 2-0. Walk in the park so far for Agassi.
Perfect setup, completely off of the ground when he hits that forehand.
Nice forehand from Goldstein. I tell you, hope he stays with tennis, and he's got a very nice game, Goldstein. He finds a way to win matches. Tonight, that's a different story. I don't know what anybody could do against Agassi in these circumstances. 1 game to love Agassi, and 2 games to love.
And one of the problems you see with Paul Goldstein tonight, especially, and throughout his career, is his firepower.
15 love.
Only 8 winners on the match so far.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to imagine how you're going to hit winners against Agassi. He doesn't come into the net that much, Mel. Is it? He's so quick. Oh. What a shot. Very low.
Everything's falling for Agassi right now. Hits a good approach shot, and he just decides to guess cross court. Agassi goes up the line. Agassi hits another ace. Ace number 2 for him. Game point.
Game, Agassi.
Another ace. Taking a little pace off that one. Porsche radar gun on the previous ace, 118 miles an hour.
Agassi leads 2 games to love.
That one coming in at 96 miles an hour.
2-0, 2 games to love.
And just watching this game, I was talking about firepower a few minutes ago. He doesn't have a lot of firepower on his serve either, That first serve there coming in at 99 miles an hour. And in men's tennis, you have to be able to get at least 1 or 2 free points on your serve a game, either with an ace, a service winner, or such an easy second ball that it's basically a free point.
Oh, that's nice from Goldstein, and he did crank up that first serve a little more authority. That last point.
2 points ago, 99 miles an hour, and that last serve, 110 miles an hour on the Porsche radar gun. But great point, great passing shot.
15-13.
So much pressure on Goldstein.
I mean, it's tough enough when you are getting free points on your serve against Agassi, against a great returner of serve. But when you're not getting those free points, you got to find them somewhere else, and he's not finding them.
Oh! 15-14.
Agassi 1 point away from a 3-love lead.
That's a great volley from Goldstein. When Agassi won this Australian Open at this time last year,
13-14.
it was his 4th straight Grand Slam final, and he won 3 of them. He lost only at Wimbledon to Pete Sampras. And that was just 1 year ago.
Game, Agassi. Agassi leads.
Agassi breaks again, and he is very much in control. He will serve leading 3 games to love. He leads 2 sets to none. Andre Agassi leading 3 games to love, 2 breaks in the 3rd and 2 sets to none. The Pacific Life match summary, Mal, does not look great for Goldstein, does it?
Not at all, but it does for Andre Agassi. 28 winners to only 10. That's the firepower, or lack thereof, I was talking about for Goldstein. And what's killing him especially, 8 of 10 breaks of serve for Agassi. You will not ever win a match in men's tennis if you get broken 8 times. Women's tennis, that is different, because so many women have their serves broken more often. You can't do that in men's tennis.
Love 15.
This match just over an hour old. Such great disguise from Agassi on that. His preparation as if he's going to drive that backhand at the last second. Just comes right under it. .30. Small opportunity here for Goldstein. Try to get a break back.
Yeah, and now 2 break points. But Mel, this is the kind of tennis that could win the tournament, isn't it, from Agassi?
Well, he's playing very good tennis right now, but he's also not being tested.
That's true.
I mean, if he's playing a guy who's testing him and he's beating up on him pretty good. I mean, thus far, Goldstein has not shown me anything that says Andres really needs to step his game up. Even though he's down another break point, it's just a matter of time before this match is over in 3 sets, I believe. But I was really hoping going into this match that Goldstein could show me something.
Goldstein.
Well, he just showed you that he can break.
Agassi leads
Despite it being that
3-1.
far down, he's down a break still. He was down 2. 3 games to 1. Agassi, Goldstein to serve. This is the Australian Open that you're watching, everyone. Cliff Drysdale, Mel Washington alongside. It is Andre Agassi and Paul Goldstein, both of the USA's second round men's singles. The final match of this 3rd day at the Australian Open. 2 sets to Agassi. He's got a break 3-1 in the 3rd.
15 long.
I mean, a big part of me before this match was thinking Andre could come out here and win this in straight sets, but I was sitting there thinking, all right, does this guy Paul Goldstein have a chance? Can he extend it past 3 sets? And I really thought he'd be able to.
Don't be so honest, Mel. Because it has been a very one-sided affair, this. Agassi playing lethal tennis. Yeah, that's well played. Had him out of court, and he knew that he was going to have to try to come back and cover. Look at this.
One of the few times Agassi is scrambling and he goes back behind him. Saw Agassi cheating to his left.
Agassi doesn't like the call, but he will have to take it.
Wayne McEwen not saying too much, just agreeing with the call. Game point for Paul Goldstein. 96 on the radar gun, and that was a first serve.
Right.
I'd like to think that Porsche radar gun is wrong, but it's not. He just doesn't have a big serve.
Right. Pass off.
Oh, yeah, that's... makes it look like a walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon, Agassi. It's not, but he makes it look that way. Talking earlier about how early he hits the ball, leaning into it. It's pretty to watch. Still game point, Goldstein.
Paul Goldstein winds up on the ground again. Got to give him credit, hustling. Doing everything he can. Putting on the brakes. Thought we might see a between the leg shot here.
Oh, baby, this is a one-handed down the line passing shot.
When he's hitting winners.
Yes, sir.
Advantage
On the
Agassi.
run. This is basically a sneak-in play. He thought he hit a pretty good shot. And he figured he sees Agassi going to the one hand, going to the slice. Figured he'd try to sneak in.
Good idea.
Juice.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it?
Exactly. But Andre Agassi snuck it by him down the line. Back to deuce.
Advantage Agassi.
Yeah, he got it. I mean, it's a good attitude there from Goldstein, but Agassi this time and this occasion just got too much game. Agassi's in control of this match, 4-1 in the third set and 2-0. We were talking earlier about that 92 Wimbledon win of Agassi's. Here's what he said about it. At that moment, it was one of the greatest, because when I look at it in photographs now, it is, for me, about so much more than tennis. Cradling the trophy was me embracing what was not even a dream, but more fears and doubts and questions about losing 3 Grand Slam finals and being told by more than just the media that this was something I couldn't win. This is the kind of moment that makes sport great. It has so much more to do for me than the game of tennis. Agassi's quotes on the 92 Wimbledon. Interesting.
He's talking about those 3 Grand Slam losses in 1990 and 91. French Opens to Andres Gomez and Courier. And that 1990 U.S. Open loss to Sampras.
Yes.
And as I had said before, there was so much hype around Agassi. You know, they thought he was going to be the man early on. And Chang wins the French in '89. Pete wins the Open in '90. And Courier,
Yeah, I was going to say.
goes on and wins the French Open over Agassi in '91 and backs it up again in '92.
So they all 3 got the slam before he did.
Exactly. But who would have thought, as you said, his first would be Wimbledon? Tim Hinman hasn't lost a set in this championship yet over Lepenti. Rafter, a tough 4-setter against Davydenko. Safin again, 4-set winner, 7-6 in the fourth. Sampras
good match.
struggling again.
Actually, the kid Sampras plays very well also, really right.
And I say Pete Sampras struggling a little bit. I maybe should correct myself. Bularak today just played a solid match, as did Kuchera against Sampras in the first round. Ferrero went down. Herbati, the 14th seed, he's still in it.
Game Agassi.
And Todd Martin, 6-2 in the fifth set. He is still in it. He moves on to the third round. We'll place this man, Cedric Pioline, who beat from the Czech Republic, Dosadel. Zabaleta, the Argentinian, going down. 6-4 in the fourth. And Christoph Rokas.
Lock 15.
Rokas will play Herbati in the third round. Tabara, a straight sets winner, out on court 13, and Juan Ignacio Chela beating Harold Levy. Harold, the man out of nowhere last year, getting to the finals in Toronto at the Tennis Masters Series Toronto.
Lock 13.
2 points away from the match for Agassi is Steffi Graf. Agassi will never catch her numbers of Grand Slam, believe me.
No.
She nearly won 2 slams in a row. She'd won the French championships against Rancha Sanchez Vicario.
Love 14.
And another winner off the racket of Agassi gives him triple match point.
Wait, please. $15-14. Let's pass serve. Thank you. Let's pass serve.
This crowd trying to get Goldstein back into it. It's a little late. It's match point.
Game, set,
That's
match.
out, and Agassi has won very easily. So this crowd are going to go home, Mal, and they're going to say, well, you know, what did you do? And at the time, I watched Andre Agassi. That'll be enough, I suppose, but it wasn't much of a match.
Well, I watched Andre Agassi for about an hour and 15 minutes. Pretty business as usual for Agassi. 1-3-1 over a guy who just looked overwhelmed out on the court. Goldstein just really not able to do anything to combat what Agassi did out on the court.
Andre Agassi doing his little bow for everybody afterwards. He is the consummate showman. He's from the showbiz capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Agassi over Goldstein. He will, in the next round, take on David Prinisil of Germany for a place in the last 16. Back in a minute to Melbourne Park.